What is going on, my beautiful friends and family, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be addressing discoloration, redness, and acne scarring. Now, I've already made a few different of these videos, but you guys have asked me for more, so today we're going to be addressing unknown or lesser known remedies and ingredients and products that you can use to improve these discoloration and acne scarring marks. Now, if you want to check out my other videos, I've done a video all about professional treatments as well as at-home treatments. You can check that out. I'll put a link in the description below, but I'll also put a card on screen. But let's just move right into this. Now, because of my acne, I used to have extremely severe cystic acne. It left quite a bit of scarring, so I did do some professional Dermapen treatments. So on screen, I'll show you before, which is 0, before I did any Dermapen treatments, and then 1, 2, and 3 after 3 Dermapen treatments. I saw a pretty good improvement. Since then, I've done at-home treatments. So let's dive into what type of acne scars there are, what type of discoloration there is, and then what we can do. So there's a few different types of acne scars. The most common 5 are rolling scars, which is ones that I generally have a lot of. These are kind of like shallow, medium depressions that are all throughout the face. They're very broad, and they give the skin kind of like a rolling texture, which is where that name comes from. The next type is called boxcar acne scars, and boxcars are usually covering large areas of skin, and they're usually in irregular, like rectangle-ish shapes, and they're also usually medium, sometimes deeper depressions. But they are very irregular shapes. So I have a combination of rolling and boxcar scars personally. Now the next one that you can get is ice pick scars, and these are unfortunately much deeper. These are the deepest type of scars that you can get. They're very pointed as well, so it almost looks like someone like jabbed at your skin, like literally like an ice pick. That's why it's called that. And these generally are the hardest ones to get rid of as well. And these generally also respond best to professional treatments, while boxcar and rolling scars can actually see a huge improvement just from at-home treatments. The other 2 types of scars are hypertrophic and keloid scars. Hypertrophic are lumps of scar tissue that are about the same size as the acne that it came from. So those are actually outwards off the skin instead of being depressions into the skin. And keloid scars are the same thing except much larger. So more scar tissue gathers after the acne goes away, and it actually looks like active acne. So I'm actually working on an acne program right now that addresses all things acne and acne scarring and discoloration. So I want to read you a little bit from the book when it comes to redness and discoloration. So post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation is a darkening of the skin that follows acne and usually affects people with darker skin tones more, as well as people who pick at their acne. These spots are the result of overproduction of melanin, and they worsen with sun exposure. The other type of discoloration that a lot of us used to call post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation is actually called post-inflammatory erythema, and this is a new thing. So this is a redness, and it's sometimes purple on some people's skin, that occurs on the skin following acne and is caused by damage to small blood capillaries under the skin. If you press on a spot with PIE, post-inflammatory erythema, it'll disappear for a few seconds as the blood drains away, whereas PIH, hyperpigmentation, will not lose its color. Sun exposure also worsens these spots. So now we have like a definition of all the types of acne scarring and the discoloration. Now, what can we do and what don't people know that they can do? Okay, so the first 3 ingredients and product recommendations that I absolutely think everybody should do because they're the holy grail. Number 1, glycolic acid. Everybody should be using an alpha hydroxy acid, of which glycolic is probably the most effective for acne scarring. There's tons of scientific research that backs up that glycolic acid is great not only for acne scarring, but also for discoloration, both PIE and PIH. So glycolic acid absolutely should be on everybody's list. For me, I personally use glycolic acid from Banish. They have a product called Pumpkin Enzyme Mask, and that has the glycolic acid. It's really high medical grade. I've been using it a little bit over a year. I've seen huge improvements from it. The second ingredient that everybody should be looking for is vitamin C. Now, vitamin C is, I think, like 1 and 2 with glycolic acid. I don't know which one's better because it is also extremely well studied, and it has shown in a ton of different studies to improve not only discoloration in terms of redness and hyperpigmentation, dark spots, but also in general just photo aging. So basically just skin aging from going out in the sun or just from getting older, fine lines and wrinkles, things like that. It has actually shown in scientific studies with photos a huge improvement from the before and after use of vitamin C. This again is from Banish, and I'm sure there's 100 companies that have vitamin C, but Banish has medical grade 99.9% pure vitamin C in their vitamin C cream, which also doubles as a fantastic non-pore clogging moisturizer. Again, another product I've been using for over a year. And the third of the holy grail products that everybody should be using is a Derma Stamp. So this is a stamp of little fine needles that you can press into your face in different spots around your face, and this has been shown in a ton of studies as well to improve acne scarring, specifically the type of scarring that I have, which is boxcar and rolling scars, which is exactly why I've been using it for a little over a year and a half, I think now actually. Again, this is the last product by Vanish that I'll mention, but I mention them because I highly recommend them. I've used them and I've seen improvements, so that's why I want to show them to you. I never want to promote a product that I think is wasting your money, wasting your time, or letting you down. These definitely won't do that. The Derma Stamp also can improve discoloration depending on the person's skin type and the severity of their discoloration. So definitely check out those first three. Now let's hop into the stuff that people probably have never heard of before. Okay, the first one is azelaic acid. Now, azelaic acid is something that, again, a lot of people don't know about, but it has quite a few very beneficial effects. Now, I'll read you a little part from the book that I wrote. This ingredient shows an anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and collagen-stimulating effect, which makes it effective for all types of scarring and post-inflammation. One study showed an improvement of 69.5% in patients with post-inflammatory erythema, so redness. Pretty awesome. 70% of them saw an improvement. Azelaic acid usually comes in the form of gel, a foam, a cream, and can be purchased in over-the-counter products or prescriptions. So that's a really good one. And if you look on the internet for reviews, you'll see a lot of people saying that it really has improved their skin. And it's, again, I hadn't heard about this until I started doing like a deep dive on these different types of ingredients. So the next one is called Niacinamide. Now, this one you might have heard about before. This is in a lot of skin products, but some people don't even know what this is. So right here I have written, this is a well-known anti-inflammatory ingredient in many skincare products. It has been shown in many studies to have an anti-inflammatory effect and to be effective in reducing hyperpigmentation. Because of its anti-inflammatory properties, it is useful for reducing redness and PIE. And then I link a research study that backs up everything I just said right there. So this is great for reducing redness. Okay, now this one, I'm sure the majority of you have never heard of it. If you have, let me know in the comments below. This third one is called Hydroquinone. So this is really interesting. I'll read you what I wrote here. This is a powerful depigmenting agent and tyrosinase inhibitor that can help treat post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, especially in those with darker skin complexions. In a 2009 paper, they refer to hydroquinone as the gold standard of topical agents for PIH, and also mention azelaic acid, kojic acid, and retinoids as effective treatments for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, which then I link the study. So it works in a different way than the other things. The other things are anti-inflammatory. They can improve discoloration through their own mechanisms. But this is really cool because with people who have darker skin complexions and people who have those dark spots, which are called post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, what happens is that there's a gathering of melanin in those spots. That's why that spot is darker. And what you can do is you can inhibit tyrosinase, which is one of the causes of that overproduction of melanin. So that's a different way. It's almost like addressing the problem at the source instead of addressing the spot once it's already been made. So I think this is a very interesting one because you're not trying to fix the problem once it's already made. You're trying to fix the problem before it's created, which is a very interesting point. Definitely go research this one, especially people who have darker skin complexions, which I think a lot of people don't end up talking about in the skincare community. I feel like a lot of people generally address lighter skin tones or white skin tones, and I feel like a lot of products that could be mentioned are completely, glazed over when it comes to darker skin tones. Okay, so this final one is called Kojic Acid. Now this one is a little bit more known, but this one is a natural chemical, which is pretty cool, that works as a tyrosinase inhibitor and is also effective at improving post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, so dark spots. In a 2010 review, they mentioned Kojic acid as an effective treatment for lightening areas of hypermelanosis. It can be found in many different forms, such as powders, serums, creams, cleansers, and more. It's been found safe in concentrations of less than 1% when used in cosmetic products. So when you use this, make sure that you do search for one that is lower than 1%. You don't want a high concentration because it can definitely irritate your skin, and if it's too high, it can actually damage your skin. So with all of these, they are very interesting, but I think that you should do your own research, look into it a little bit, see what type of skin, basically types and colors and tones react best to this. So you can find exactly whether or not any of these ingredients are going to be right for your skin complexion and your skin tone. In addition to not only being able to look at reviews of people who look similar to you and see if that looks like a good approach for you, if you want, you can look deeper into the research itself, because again, I just wanted to get these out to you, but there's a lot that goes behind the scenes in researching a lot of these, so you can learn a lot more about each one individually by Googling them. So I hope this video was interesting to you. I hope it was helpful. I love talking about redness, discoloration, and acne scarring. It's something that's near and dear to my heart. It's something that I've dealt with for quite a few years now, and I know it affects a lot of people, especially since I've made this channel. I've gotten more messages than ever from people who are just as affected by their acne scarring as they were by their active acne, and I realized that it's a topic that I want to dive deeper into and offer as much insight as possible, which again is why I've made multiple videos, but I don't want to repeat myself. I always want to offer you guys something new, something that is, basically breaking research, right? A lot of these ingredients have only been discovered or researched more recently in the last couple of years. So I want to give value to you guys that you aren't going to get from other channels, and I don't want to repeat the same stuff that you already know. So I hope that this video was educational, and I hope you learned something that you never knew before. As always, you should definitely check out Banish for all sorts of awesome skincare products. The specific 3 that I mentioned earlier are on Banish, but there are a few more that I think are really, really worth your time. So you can definitely check all that stuff out and use my code, all caps, Brian5 for $5 off your first order of $50 or more. I seriously can't recommend them highly enough. It is one of the only skincare brands that I use, and it's the only one I've used consistently for now almost 2 years. Really good stuff. So check that out with the link in the description below. And with that, brings us to the end of the video. If you enjoyed it, give me a big old thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments below, and subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Remember, you are not alone. You are beautiful, and you're part of Team Acne.